And our lead this hour coming from the speculation machine. We'll get to the Cowboys and their rip-roaring victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night, Monday Night Football. Dallas advancing to the divisional round. We'll get to that in a minute. But our lead this hour coming from Baltimore. The Ravens left licking their wounds after the stunner from Cincinnati with their backup quarterback. The Ravens hanging around. It was anyone's game there with Tyler Huntley playing under center. Baltimore was matching blow for blow with the Bengals, and that was until the fourth quarter when it looked like the Ravens had matriculated the ball down the field, gotten in position to take the lead. They tried a quarterback keeper, and right there, and the quarterback keeper, what happened? Oh, well, no gain, right up the middle, no gain, only to see Tyler Huntley fumble, bug on the rug, and watch a defensive end, a lumbering defensive end named Sam Hubbard, scoop the ball up and run 98 yards the other way for a record-setting touchdown, and that turned out to be the difference of the game. The Bengals able to get away with a shove in the back. One of their linebackers, Marcus Bailey, did shove Mark Andrews in the back. They did not call it, and they swallow the whistle, and in the end, that turns out to be the deciding touchdown. The Ravens had other opportunities. They had another opportunity, but failed to get it done as time was winding down in the game. That 14-point swing is all that was needed to turn this game around. Baltimore did not have the services of Lamar Jackson, their MVP quarterback, was not there. Jackson nursing a knee injury that was supposed to be a 3-week injury, now past 6 weeks. He was unavailable, unwilling to suit up for Baltimore. Now, that led to a lot of chatter about the future of Lamar Jackson in the land of the crab cake, and Lamar not even showing up to the Ravens facility or locker area there to clean out his locker. He did not show up to the game in Cincinnati over the weekend. And so this has all added some more drama-o-rama to the story. Lamar Jackson posted an update on just how serious he claims the knee injury was. We talked about that in a previous episode of the show near the end of last week. Now, that did not end the story, though, as if you're paying attention and keeping an eye on all that was going on, a very annoyed John Harbaugh answered a question about his quarterback on Sunday night and looked like he would rather be sleeping in the fetal position, sucking on his thumb, wearing pajamas, than talk about his quarterback. Now, we also had a field day with the media, ex-jocks in the media, the jockocracy of the sporting world. You had TV talking head RG3, very disappointed with Michael Vick, who had said some mean things. And he came to Lamar Jackson's defense against Michael Vick, who clowned on Lamar. Jackson also posted a cryptic Instagram story on Monday, this after the game. He said, quote, "When you have something good, you don't play with it. You don't neglect it. When you have something good, you pour into it. You appreciate it, because when you take care of something good, that good thing takes care of you too." Close quote. Sounds like it was taken off some bumper sticker website from the 1980s. But that is the quote that Lamar Jackson sent out. So let us discuss the question. Is Lamar Jackson merely taking care of his body and his knees really messed up, or is he sending a message in a bottle to the Ravens? All right, so the way I am proceeding here, the arrow is pointing at the message in the bottle to the Ravens. I've got smoldering embers, ratcheting, and flight attendants. And we're going to hammer all of this down, and we are going to make a grumpy quarterback is what we're going to make. So, first of all, Lamar Jackson is making sure that the big kahunas, the power brokers in Baltimore, are squirming like a worm, right? No mixed messages on this one. It was a week-to-week injury that they said worst-case scenario was 3 weeks. It's now been 6 weeks. It's not about the knee. It's no longer about the knee. It's about the bag. And this doesn't talk. It screams at you. There's no whispering, right? Reading the room here, Lamar Jackson is the F word. Not that F word. Not the F word Black Steve II said on the air last hour. Lamar Jackson is flummoxed. He is flummoxed that the Ravens did not take care of his wants and needs. He wanted the creepy quarterback payday. We all know the story there. Baltimore balked. They balked at paying Deshaun Watson money to Lamar Jackson. They said, well, Cleveland's a bunch of dum-dums. Why would we make the same mistake the Browns made? And that was the ignition point. That was the spark that led to the wildfire. And we watched over the weekend, those smoldering embers have continued to cause flare-ups as the year's gone on. We have heard that people in the organization think Lamar Jackson is guilty of malingering, that he had a minor knee injury, and that he's milking it, much like a farmer milks a cow. And as a result, Lamar Jackson is guilty of a sin among all sins. He let his Raven teammates and the coaching staff down. He let the entire organization down because he's trying to make a point to get out of the Ravens contract or to get paid. One thing leads to another, and we end up with Lamar ranting about the Ravens neglecting him in that cryptic message that he sent out. Now, secondly, what will the Ravens do about Lamar Jackson going forward? So we're at a fork in the road now. And all indications had been Lamar Jackson was going to get the tag. He was going to get the franchise tag. That appears to have changed now. It's not a fait accompli that they bury the hatchet, the Ravens, and just give Lamar Jackson the franchise tag. He wants out. We know Lamar wants out based on his actions. He has said one thing. His actions speak louder than his words. He has not said that he wants out of Baltimore. He said all the right things, but his actions indicate that he is angry. He's very angry, and unless the Ravens pony up the moolah, Lamar has a wandering eye. And he doesn't want the franchise tag. That is toxic. He wants nothing to do with toxic. And he's demanding a massive signing bonus with a cartoon-sized check. And Baltimore has shown, again, no indication that they're ready to go down that avenue. So what we have here is a standoff at the Ravens' nest. Lamar Jackson ultimately has upped the ante. He's upped the stakes here. He's ratcheted up the hostilities, ratcheting up the vitriol with his actions. That vanishing act from Baltimore's season is a declaration of contract war. And Michael Vick advised Lamar Jackson to essentially rub some dirt on it and get back out there. He had said in the lead up to the playoff game against the Bengals, he had said that Jackson should, quote, put a brace on it, get it going. Now, Charles Woodson, who was sitting across the panel on a television show on Fox talking about all this, Charles Woodson said, quote, of Lamar Jackson, he doesn't know, this is of Woodson talking about Lamar Jackson's situation, he said he doesn't know if he would have the balls to do it, clearly implying that Lamar Jackson's faking the injury. That's the implication from Charles Woodson. Now, those comments led to a lot of pearl clutching from social media experts, connoisseurs of all things football, who blindly believe Lamar Jackson is tremendously hurt and needs major reconstructive knee surgery. They buy everything the athlete says, hook, line, and sinker. It's fascinating to me that you have other athletes who played the game who do not believe Lamar Jackson. They think he's full of malarkey. And yet, Joe Public, for the most part, is like, oh, no, if Lamar says he's hurt, he's hurt. That's all we have to. You can't go any other answer other than, yes, he's hurt. Like, never before in the history of professional sports, the industrial complex of professional sports, have we seen an athlete milk an injury to get more money, right? To either protect themselves to get a payday or to position themselves to get a different kind of a check. Now, we will soon get clarity on this story, and that's one of the fun things about this job. We'll get an answer. Either Lamar will indeed force his way out of a Ravens uniform, or Baltimore's going to pay the man. So there's no other answer. I don't see this being a franchise tag situation anymore. If anything, based on the clues here, there will be a franchise tag, but will not be exclusive, is what I meant to say. Like, there's no way the Ravens can bring Lamar Jackson back if they truly believe he's a quitter. And he quit on the team, and he could have played, and he was just trying to make a bigger statement for the contract. You can't trust that guy. That's a snake. You can't have that player on your team if that's what Lamar Jackson did. I understand why he did it, but you can't keep that guy around because he's lost all credibility. And let him go to somebody else, and then he can be somebody else's problem. Now, final thought. Baltimore now has to decide how they want to play this. The ball is in their court. John Harbaugh and friends could block out the noise. They could give, as we've said, Lamar Jackson the exclusive franchise tag. We don't think they'll do that. That would mean Lamar cannot negotiate with any other teams. That would be a holding pattern. And you would have a similar situation pop up next year if Lamar has an injury. It's a 2-week injury. Is he going to miss a month? Is he going to miss 2 months? All right. Now, the other option would be if you franchise tag Lamar, you give him an average of the 5 largest salaries for a quarterback. But with bad blood brewing, it is more likely than not that the answer is the non-exclusive franchise tag. Non-exclusive. What the hell does that mean? In layman's terms, it means if Lamar has the non-exclusive tag and agrees to a mega millions contract offer from, let's say, the Jets, then the Ravens would have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 days to match that offer. And if the Poets decide not to match the offer, then they would receive a compensation package of draft picks, the equivalent of not 1, but 2 first-round picks. So where will Lamar Jackson land if he leaves Baltimore? This is going to be a fun game. We'll cut the ribbon on this game once the offseason really gets going there. But the court of public opinion is one thing. The public courting is another. We're going to see all kinds of fluttering eyelashes, puppy dog eyes, playing footsie under the negotiating table. And I would advise the flight attendants to prepare for landing in New Jersey because we know the Jets have been on the record that they're horny for a quarterback. They're desperate. That ownership, the Johnson & Johnson clan, they think they have everything they need on the menu, all the ingredients except for one, that Zach Wilson has been a hemorrhoid who keeps flaring up at the wrong time there. Gangrene could send the number 13 pick, Zach Wilson, if they want to throw him in the trade, get rid of a headache, and the 2024 first-round pick to the Ravens for Lamar Jackson. And then they get Lamar. The Ravens get a couple of first-round picks. Now, if I'm the Ravens, I wouldn't make that trade, but they probably will, right? Outside of New York, you've got Carolina, Atlanta, New England, and Indianapolis. The reason I wouldn't make that trade is I don't value draft picks. I don't value first-round picks. I'm F them picks, guys. Most of those first-round picks do not work out the way they're supposed to work out. Everyone gets all excited. And then, for example, Zach Wilson is a living embodiment of that. This guy was going to be God's gift to the quarterback position. And, oh, my God, he's so good out of BYU. And he had that crazy throw at his workout day. And it's amazing he can tie his shoes and stand up and walk and chew gum at the same time. And so I wouldn't take the draft picks, but I'd rather get some kind of quarterback. But who are you going to get at quarterback if you trade Lamar Jackson? Nobody's got any good quarterback. Otherwise, they wouldn't want Lamar Jackson. But you look around, the wink and the nod to the Raiders and the Dolphins. Tom Brady's going to be in play here. Lamar has ties to South Florida. We know that he'd like to play for the Dolphins. It's close to home. Miami does not have a first-round pick because they were guilty